everybody. This is Sam Fiorella, my mate, Danny Brown.
Can we use Sam?
We haven't started drinking yet.
I would get the names wrong. Anyway,
I'm Sam, that's
Danny.
Danny. For those of you that aren't following along here, we need one of those little bouncing balls with names across our tongue. And welcome back to Marketing on Tap vlog and podcast, depending upon where you're participating. Danny, today I want to talk about a Facebook post that you just put out, and it inspired something for me, and that was your comment about the Calvin Klein and the Kardashians ad. Your comment was, well, that conversation escalated quickly, right? And for those of you that don't know, Calvin Klein, I guess, has hired the Kardashians. For those of you that have taken any one of my classes or listened to any one of my keynotes, you know how much I love the Kardashians. I love to hate on the Kardashians, maybe is a better way to put it. But anyway, he got them into a photo where they're in various stages of undress wearing Calvin Klein clothing. Yeah. And he thought that that was, or whoever their marketing team was, thought that that was a good idea. Needless to say, it really backfired on them on social media. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, as always, what did you just pour me?
Well, I saw end of summer's coming, so
yes,
let's try some beer before it disappears. But as I poured this, I smelled an interesting aroma, so I'm not quite sure what to make of this. This is a Wonder Star, which is like a craft lager from the Flying Monkeys guys up in Barrie, Ontario. It's a lighter lager, it's 4.5%.
Psychedelic can.
Really psychedelic can. They mix in some juniper, some spices, some citrus, but the aroma's, it's interesting. It's like a shandy. I don't know if you guys have shandies in Canada, but it smells like a really lighter shandy. Anyway, so
cheers, mate.
Let's try it.
I know. I don't have confidence. Oh, you can really taste the juniper in there.
Yeah.
It's like licking on an evergreen tree.
Like a juniper stick. It's different. It's not something I drink a lot of, but it's a nice, easy summer drink. So it's a little bit different from our usual
normal stuff. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually kind of surprised with this one. I wanted to hate it right away, but it's kind of.
Well, when I saw the color, I thought, okay, it looks like a cocktail. Coming in like almost like a rosé, like a darker rosé.
Well, this is the thing. I'm very visual, so when I look at the color, I'm thinking, okay, this is like an amber, so I'm expecting a caramelly kind of flavor to it, which I really like. And this one here is, wow. Well, that's craft beer for you. You never know what you're going to get when you open up one of these cans. That's actually poignant on me. All right. Well, thank you guys. Let's get back to what we're here to talk about. But before we do that. I do want to plug something, if we can. For those of you that are in Toronto in October, where Danny and I work here in our offices at Sensei, we're putting on a one-day influence marketing executive course. It's on October 24th. Check out senseimarketing.com for more information. It's down at the bottom of the page right now. Anyway, give us a tweet, give us an email, give us a call, DM, whatever, if you want a little bit more information. But what we've done is I've taken our executive 3-day course that I deliver when we are on site for large brands, and I've compressed it into almost an executive summary MBA. 1-day intensive teaching you how to develop your own influence marketing campaign. So check that out if you guys want to learn more about it on our site, senseimarketing.com. So back to the Kardashians. So I've got it pulled up here because I just love the comments. So I know for those of you that, podcasts, you can't really see this, but go to Calvin Klein and take a look at the picture that he posted of the 5 Kardashian sisters. The Kardashian Jenners wear new monogram styles from Calvin Klein underwear, and it's got them in various clothing. And some of the comments are just hilarious. It didn't get a lot of retweets, surprisingly, but it did get not a lot of likes, but it did get a lot of comments. Some of the comments were pretty funny. There's more plastic in this picture than in our oceans, comments Ian Pledger. I thought that was kind of funny. And then there is, of course, all the memes come out on these types of things, and you have the Family Guy with, oh my God, who the hell cares, was Gareth Blinkhorn's post. Why is this in my feed? I mean, like, seriously. Calvin Klein, Dr. L. Jones Jr., I'll never buy your products again. And then James Neal, I think, hits the nail on the head, which is what I want to ask you. He commented, when brands don't understand social media.
Yeah.
Right? So why? What's wrong with this?
Well, obviously, it just seems that it's wrongly targeted. It's an ad, for example. You know, if it's an organic one, fine, bang it out there, but expect the backlash. But if it's an ad, clearly the demographic that normally buys Calvin Klein have no interest, you know, in the Kardashians. And by all means, use celebrity influencers, but I think the Kardashians probably, as you can see there, the wrong audience, by people that would buy Calvin Klein but aren't going to buy them anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's an interesting thing. Like, is that really the case, though, or is this just social media being social media, just hating on everything that goes out there? Let's play devil's advocate here for a minute. Like Kylie Jenner, for example, has a very successful makeup line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's a successful model, and I know my daughter, for one, I have a 15-year-old daughter who follows her and looks at her makeup tips and buys Kylie Jenner lipstick, always when I'm not looking and against my
With your
advice.
credit card online.
Yeah, well, I made the mistake of giving it to her once, and that's it. Now she keeps buying all of this stuff. So you know, and my daughter does buy it because Kylie Jenner promotes it.
Right.
Now that's lipstick to a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt my wife would follow that advice and
Right.
buy anything that Kylie Jenner promotes, but that's not her audience. So is it really that bad? Is this just social media, or do they really misunderstand the audience?
Well, I think you also have to look at the audience. I mean, you mentioned your daughter; she's 15. Is she on Twitter?
Yeah.
Right. Is it the wrong platform for the demographic they're going after? So obviously here they want to go after a certain audience, but possibly Twitter's their own platform. And yeah, we know that social media people love to bitch and just hate on everything.
Yeah.
Given a chance, but I think with the Kardashians especially, with the baggage to a degree that they've brought, you know, to a lot of their stuff, that's going to impact Calvin Klein. And Calvin Klein's obviously, they're smart marketers. Their advertising is usually bang on. They know who they're going after, but this one seems to have backfired majorly. And I think a lot of it's to do with the wrong audience and the wrong platform.
Well, I think maybe the wrong platform is a good point. The one thing I didn't mention is that I just noticed now, this is a promoted tweet. So this is an advertisement. It's an advertisement that went out there. And I'm noticing a couple of people here. I don't know why, or I don't know what you told Twitter when it comes to targeting this ad, but it's miles off in appearing in my stream. Simon Watkins blocked and products vetoed.
All right.
Neil Ballum, so bleeping what? You know, how much did you get for this shoot? Money wasted. Feed some people in impoverished countries. Wow. I mean, like, it really is, you know, FFS by sawed off. Ian Teasdale. Yeah, it's a good UK guy. The most frightening plastic people cult I've ever seen. And I think this is one of the things I think this idea of celebrity influence is going to come up a lot. You know, I would agree that this is really off the rails and how brands really just don't understand influence marketing. There's this idea that celebrity influence still works, and while we're talking about it, and people that haven't seen this ad are going to go and maybe
check it out, maybe. Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe he's doing the right thing, but is it really right? It's getting attention, but is it getting the right attention? Yeah. Social media right now is so volatile that the slightest comment that is maybe misinterpreted can go very wrong, like this one here. So I think that's something that brands really need to pay attention to, a little closer to, and there's a massive risk. You know, speaking of Kylie Jenner, let's go and take a look at what was the other one that she did with Pepsi?
Oh, Pepsi, the Black Lives Matter ad. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another really example of how a brand just doesn't understand the concept of influence marketing. They figured, okay, well, Kylie Jenner is a reality TV star. You know, everybody knows her. She makes a lot of news. She gets a lot of buzz. And so for those of you, I'm sure everybody knows about this one, but for those few people that have never seen it, in the Black Lives Matter standoff with the police in the United States earlier this year, you know, there was what was it, the end of last year? I can't remember.
Last year, I think, yeah. It was the end of last year. And there was that iconic image of the female protester.
That's right.
Them in the dress up to the charging police.
That's right. Under the Black Lives Matter campaign, which was a very powerful image, and so Pepsi wanted to co-opt that image, and they created a television commercial with protesters standing off against police, you really couldn't tell what the protest was about, but you got the sense that they were mimicking what was happening in the news. And then they parade Kylie Jenner out with a Pepsi, you know, to say, this is what's going to unify all of us. So, you know, let's forget that it's, you know, what does Kylie Jenner have to do with the Black Lives Matter movement?
Exactly.
And not having, you know, an African American in there, you know what I mean? If they really wanted to represent that, why didn't they get that same, you know, woman who had the courage in a real life situation to stand up to the police? And maybe even that would have been completely
exactly. I'm pretty 100% sure that the individual, you know, the woman that stood up to the police would have said no, she wanted nothing to do with it, because it's such an off-base ad, and it's just completely misreading, you know, what sounds like potentially a good marketing idea at start point, to actually executing it and saying, oh crap, that was really bad, why did we do that?
I mean, I think a lot of it, this is this desire, I think, for marketers to go viral. Let's do something that's going to be, you know, because we know what the good social media content is, right? It has to be newsworthy, it has to be evergreen, and it has to be entertaining. So to be newsworthy, you've got to sort of capture what's the public imagination at that time, something that they're going to be interested in right now. So that's certainly what they were trying to do. There's a political movement going on, there's a cultural movement going on in the US. Let's jump on this and let's be what they're hoping. And I know some people that work at Pepsi, they're good people. They didn't intend this to go the way they did. They were just completely tone deaf to what the audience was feeling and how this was going to be interpreted by the audience. What happened to good old-fashioned focus groups?
Oh, exactly.
You know, remember when we used to do those?
I used to do focus groups. I took part in focus groups when I first moved to Canada as part of, you know, just making money while my PR card.
I thought you were selling your blood. And
I was doing that plus focus groups to see which blood kind of was best. But you know who I blame actually is Oreo with the Super Bowl ad, because ever since that Super Bowl ad, when the lights went out, every single brand has tried to get that Oreo moment and the Super Bowl moment. And some of you copied Oreo directly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so yeah, once you see that, you think all I need to do is get that one. I'm going to throw 100 out and get one good thing, and I'll give me that.
Yeah. So what's the takeaway here for a brand? Like, I mean, like, stay away from political, cultural, real-time social media engagements or posts. Although the Pepsi example is not really real-time. That was planned. They spent a lot of money building that ad.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it, I think it was last week's podcast when we were talking about the political side of the craft brew, you know, bucket beer thing. And I think there's a time and a place where you can make a stand and come out and market your product in a political background. You know, Dominion Cereal, Pinocchio did that perfectly with what they're doing with their bucket beer can. But yeah, I mean, generally I think you have to stand back. Don't even think it'd be a good idea to try, you know, piggyback on a political movement or a social uprising and think that's a great way to crash your brand into the marketplace.
Another example just happened in the UK. Actually, I don't think it just happened in the UK. It was a little while, it was about a year ago. Just an example of a tone-deaf brand, which McDonald's typically isn't. So I'm really surprised at this one. I don't know if it's because it was in the UK. They've obviously got a different agency out there. But they did an ad where they had a mom and her son talking about the guy's deceased father, her deceased husband. And basically the point that the ad was like, we both love fish fillet sandwiches, and let's talk about your dead dad. You know, let's remember your dead dad over our love of fish fillet. You know, now, for somebody who's I've lost a son, I can tell you that I took that offensively. You know what I mean? I mean, I maybe try and understand the idea. You want to appeal to some kind of nostalgia, some kind of familial connections, and how there are certain foods or experiences that, you know, make you feel good and warm and fuzzy. But maybe leave that to like a Christmas Carol or something. Like in an advertisement, trying to relate your product to the death of a family member and somehow making that work is going to come across as tone deaf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That makes good. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I'm getting the thing. So we have the bell, guys. We have a special treat for you.
No special effects either. This is like
this is real. It's last call. We have, after some shameless begging from the audience, because we are such a low budget show, one of our viewers and one of our mates over in Scotland felt bad for us and actually bought us and shipped us a bell.
And a proper pub bell as well.
And it's a proper, is it a proper pub bell?
It's a style that's used in the UK for last call.
Last call.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in the UK, I saw they were on the
wall. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of times you go like, which is fantastic. So Stephen Sefton, shout out to you. Thank you very much. So last call. This is going to be our official last call bell for Marketing on Tap. So Danny, takeaway. Tone deaf brands. What advice would we be giving brands moving forward to avoid these moments?
I think it's like what we talk about with our clients. We start with who's your audience and who's going to be the right people. If it's an influence marketing campaign, who's going to be the right people for that audience? Because clearly the Kardashians for this particular ad was not the right audience. And target your ads properly, because I don't know who's doing the Twitter ads, but clearly they didn't use the filters on the back end properly to filter it out. So know who it is, know who you're going after, and make sure you pick the right influencers that are relevant to that audience.
Clearly. And there is certainly no lack of budget here. Calvin Klein has the budget.
And the Kardashians aren't cheap.
No, exactly. So, they spent money on this, but they spent so much money on the Kardashians, they couldn't find a good agency that would do the targeting properly. I don't know. I would add to that, or just maybe go back to what we mentioned earlier, in terms of besides understanding your audience, don't jump on the bandwagon. I think a lot of brands have done this. I think Calvin Klein jumped on the Kardashian bandwagon just because they're Insta celebrities, right? So they're Instagram celebrities. So is just because they're celebrities, just because they have a large following, doesn't make them influencers. Right? It makes them mouthpieces, and the fact that the bigger they get, the more annoying they are to people, and so you're going to then incur this, or get this backlash from the vast majority of people that really dislike them. So that negativity, even if the people who are negative are online trolls only and not your real clients, there's so much negativity it's going to be built around your brand. And then forever, you're going to be like a footnote in all of these blog posts about the worst marketing campaigns of the last 5 years. You're just constantly going to be showing up there, right? And the other thing is, again, avoid cultural, religious news stories. Don't try, do it quietly. You know what I mean? Have your employees get involved in some kind of a charity or some kind of an effort, and have the media pick it up. But don't try and blatantly jump on political, cultural, religious bandwagons for social media campaigns, because it's invariably going to go wrong for you. Right? So that's basically my last call. Anyway, this beer is actually really growing on me. I want to hate it, but it is really a good beer. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget, if you like these short 15-20 minute podcasts, subscribe and you'll get an alert every Friday when we go live, or follow us and like us on the YouTube channel if that's where you guys are. Thanks very much. Until next time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Tragic.